Of course, it's a helicopter, but it's the C032 bind and fly. I think what our ERA is doing now is trying to take advantage of the fact that we all have hundreds of these transmitters, and they're trying to save us some money and just get bind and fly models out. I think it's a great idea. This thing looks fantastic. Look at it. It's like the baby cousin of C189 with 4 blades. Beautiful job. It doesn't open. The battery is in the bottom. Comes out. You got to put the skids on. I'm sure the operation is very similar to other. So you get a screwdriver. Let's see what we have here. All right. Beautiful. Really beautiful. So you get the tail. Very easy assembly. I think the thing here is mostly the setup. So let me just get it assembled and then we'll talk about the setup. This is quite simple. You have to put in this goes in here, and there's screws that you have to put, obviously. It looks like they have one extra screw in case you lose one back here. So I put the 2 back there. And then we have 4 screws that go here for the landing skids. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So they do give you 2 extra in case. Looks like this helicopter has an optical flow right there. We'll see how it operates. I'm going to bind it to, I mean, it doesn't matter what our ERA transmitter you bind it to. I think all of them, the new ones, other than the C129, all of them will fit, or it will work with this helicopter, which is a great thing. You end up saving some money and not having all these transmitters sitting around. I mean, look it up here. Look how many I got. That's just some of them. I have a drawer full of transmitters, new and old, but a lot of them are my ERA transmitters. I just end up using one. I've been just using one transmitter for all of them, even the C187s and the C186s, the C159, C189, C190, all of them are using one transmitter because it's the same protocol. It's their own proprietary protocol. I never really cared of changing because I fly my other helicopters with Spectrum. Okay, here is, I have 3 extra screws, so I'll put them aside. And here's a comparison to the bigger brother, the C189. Look at that. This is a 2S. Let's see what this is. This is a 2S. This is a 2S as well. 7.4 volts. So they both operate. This is at 350 milliamp hour. Okay, so I'm going to use this transmitter. So let's turn it on. Okay, let's turn on the helicopter. See, it goes in the bind. So all I need to do is just, and it's bound. See, we can start it and shut it down. Start, shut it down. The way I do it is just go down like this. Down. I can just, if you repeat it, it starts and stops. Okay, so let's start it. Turn it off. Very nice. So, very simple, guys and gals, I think. Now what we need to do is hover test it and do the gyro calibration. I think it's calibrated in the factory, but it doesn't hurt to do it again. Let me take it for a flight test and then we'll see. Okay, C032, first flight. It's pretty stable. I don't think it needs any kind of, this is perfect, doesn't need any calibration. If you were to do it, you would push this up and it would blink. You take off, calibrate, accept, and land. But this is perfect. Very easy to fly. This reminds me of the C189, the C187 in a easier, and it has to land now because the battery hasn't been charged. But this is very nice. I'll do a comparison with the other size, same size helicopters now. It probably has the self-landing too. Let me do the auto land. Let's do auto land. It has an auto land. And it beeps. Okay, here's a comparison of the new C032 MD500 to the same similar sized helicopters. This is the C138, which was the Bell 206. See the size comparison. This is the famous C187, which is an EC135. Maybe this is a better size comparisons, but I think they're all based on the same technical, like the mechanics and the blades are all very similar. The insides are similar. What has changed is the body. Here's the Bow 105. So these three are comparable in size. Here is the C130. C123, sorry. It's a little bit bigger, but you see them side by side. About the same. C130, 123 is a little bit longer, but you can see if I do this. Let's do a comparison. All right. So this one has an optical flow sensor. This one also has an optical flow sensor. This C187 also has an optical flow sensor here. I really like the way this thing looks. It's smaller than its big brother, obviously, C189. It has 4 blades instead of 5 blades. The tail rotor is on the wrong side because I think they've adopted the mechanics that they had already, which was the C135, which is fine. I mean, that's understandable. As you saw, she was a very nice flyer. For the little time that I flew her, she was very, very stable. This is a great indoor flyer, I think. Even outdoors, I think it has some capacity for pitch, as you can see. You see the pitch? So this would be very nice. And the price is affordable, I think. Beautiful. Here's a comparison again between the two. Top view. Again, 4 blades versus 5 blades. Tail blade. This is a brushed motor. That's a brushless motor. I think the motor here, I believe it's a brushed motor. And this, we know it's brushless, the C189. Very pretty. In comparison to similar sized, the mechanics are similar, and similar size C187. Similar tail assembly, the motor brushless. It's brushed motor at the tail with the rotor on the same side. 4 main blades. Looks like the heads are very similar. And here's the old cousin, the bow 105. Same thing, same design concept. I'm happy to see our ERA is standardizing and improving on their products. This is the latest generation of that standardization. They just changed the shell. And if you want to compare with the, this is the most recent Bell 206. Here's the size comparison. Beautiful model. They're both beautiful. I mean, I flew this just very little, but I can tell already it's a very nice flying helicopter. And we have the C123. The C123 is also a very nice flying helicopter. It's a little loud because it's on 3S, and the tail makes that, and the tail has that fenestron with very high RPMs, but it's a beautiful model. Here's a comparison. You may think that, these looks like the blade grips are very similar, and they might be, but the top is different, and this is on 3S, this is on 2S. One change they did make is the battery now has the nice C USB-C connector, so you can do it either way. This is great because before the C186 and 87 had the smaller connector, and now they've standardized this as well, which is fantastic. I like to look through the manual with you as well. This is what came with it. Again, I really like the fact that they're doing away with, they're giving us an option of having it bind and fly, which allows me to use so many of my radios that are just sitting around, RC ERA radios. So this is your basic warnings, just like any other manual. Here are the little details. It flies about 12 minutes when it's charged. So that's a good thing. So we just flew it for a few minutes, obviously, because it's not charged. I was excited. I just wanted to see how it flies. I'll go ahead and charge the battery and see and fly it outside and inside for you. Here's the radio. Again, your typical Yuzhang, RC ERA radio. They're sister companies if you didn't know, but they're, RC ERA is one branch and Yuzhang the other. Your throttle, up and down. This is your flight speed control. I like it on the 3rd. This is the emergency one-touch. It says one-touch landing here, but on this radio, landing is here. So it depends on which radio you use. I'm using the C123 radio. If you get it with the ready to fly, it says that this button for you is one-touch landing. For me, it's a stop button. Okay. I didn't get a charger. Maybe because this is an early release, but I didn't get a charger. Not that I want one, I have many. This is a key. Make sure transmitter batteries are fresh and the battery in the helicopter is 100% charged. I just had an incident with another helicopter where my transmitter battery went down to 1 bar and the helicopter went crazy. It flew away. So it's important to make sure your battery is fully charged or charged well enough that it's going to last through the flight. And they're talking about do not make these blades overly tight. If it's overly tight, helicopters are going to have vibration issues. So as I said before, this is a good tightness. You flip it and it shouldn't swing. It should stop. This is a good tightness. These screws. Not too loose and not too tight. Okay, what else is here? Just radio. These are the movements. Obviously, if you know helicopters, this is roll right, left, forward pitch, back pitch, yaw left, yaw right. Yaw meaning tail, right, left, and right. Turning. And then aileron is pitching. Aileron is roll, which is done with this stick. And then this is pitch, forward and backwards. Forward and backwards. And it's just explaining that here. And talking about how to run it, I showed that earlier. You basically turn on the transmitter. You bind with this helicopter, as I showed you before. So you turn on the transmitter, turn on the helicopter, goes into that flashing mode. You bind by going through 1, 2, and the light goes solid. That's bound. And to start, you press both, you pull these to the right here and to the left. And she starts. And to shut it, you do the same thing. Be careful doing this sitting down. I'm just demonstrating. Okay, and then it gets to this point, which is great. It's showing the gyro and the gyro calibration procedure. To calibrate, okay, you set the helicopter in a very, level place. Level, not here, but maybe on flat ground. You push both sticks to the left. Okay, the LEDs are going to flash and the gyro will reset. But mine didn't need it. I just, you just saw how stable it was. It didn't need it. And then finally, here's the breakdown. It's a brushed motor, I can tell from looking at it. Brushed motor, main motor. Head assembly is very similar to your other, smaller ERA helicopters, namely the C186, C187, and C159. Very similar. They all have a gear, and I bet the gears are all the same size. Servos are going to be the same. So hopefully these parts are interchangeable. The parts that may not be interchangeable are the links, because that depends on the head assemblies on each helicopter. But more chances are those are also very similar, if not the same. And here's the breakout of how to open the fuse. Very similar again to the rest. You just have to split it apart, and the mechanics are inside, sitting on a frame. Great. I hope this was helpful. Another beautiful model from ERA.